Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 challenge run, where you suggest the most difficult character weapon combos in the game, and I try to beat them. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're going to be trying the baby, which is always a challenging and difficult character with a lot of weird quirks, with the Quarterstaff. The reason this is a difficult combo on paper is that the Quarterstaff, of course, scales off of your total character level. That's what causes it to do more damage. And the baby needs 2.3 times as much XP in order to level, so we're not going to gain damage on the Quarterstaff as much as we would on any other character. This is also just a very challenging character in general, so this could be a pretty tough combination. I'll admit that at first glance, I'm not thinking that this will be brutally difficult, but I was pleasantly surprised by how tough the farmer slingshot run was, which I also thought wasn't going to be that hard. So I'm very much open to just being wrong about that and discovering that this is a very, very challenging run. We managed to get enough materials to get another weapon slot. That's very important when playing the baby, to get the maximum materials in the first wave so that you can buy a second weapon. Roll here, we'll buy a quarterstaff and roll. I'm going to try to upgrade my quarterstaffs here, but we'll buy a coupon and then buy another one. Because you can't buy as many weapons in the first couple shops on the baby, you are incentivized to buy at least one other type of item. Here I have a choice. I can level up my quarterstaff and then re-roll in order to try to lock another one. I can level up and not re-roll because we will not get a third weapon slot until after wave 3. Next wave, there just isn't enough money because of our increased level up requirements. We won't hit level 3. So I can buy this and then not reroll. Or I can lock it for 2 waves, and then we'll have a guaranteed weapon for when we are, when we get another weapon slot and need to fill it out. I think what I'm going to do here is buy this, and then I will throw in a reroll for 4. It's fairly cheap to do so, so I think it's worth it. And we were able to lock a fertilizer, which obviously is an item that we're very happy to grab. Especially on the baby, getting early harvesting is great because you start with some harvesting. So finding the fertilizer can push you to the 20 harvesting mark, where it starts growing by 2 every wave. And that's a massive boost for the character. Normally, most characters get their harvesting by leveling up, but the baby can't because we don't get stats from levels. I would have to give up too many enemy kills there to run off after that tree, so I decided not to. I'm going to take the fertilizer. Do I want the corrupted shard? Cursed enemies could be fairly dangerous, but I think it's still pretty good, so I'm just going to grab it here. You usually want to just buy a lot of items on this character because with item price reduction, that's the only way that the baby can get ahead on economy. Otherwise, you're going to be really far behind. I'll lock this scar, buy a tree, and do one more reroll, and lock a quarterstaff. I'll also definitely want this beanie, so we're in pretty good shape. 2 level 2 weapons, another one locked for when we get another weapon slot next wave, hopefully. And we've hit 20 harvesting, so things are going well so far. The main challenge for this character, of course, is getting defensive stats. On most characters, you get your defensive stats from leveling, and the baby doesn't get that option. And we're also going to be behind on clear speed in the first few waves, which is when you buy a lot of low-level items that contribute to your defenses. Because we will only have 3 weapons next wave, most characters would have a lot more than that. I guess, actually, we managed to hit level 3 here, so we've got 4 weapon slots, which is pretty good for this character. We'll take the quarterstaff. I'll take the scar. So now I could buy both of these items. They're both good items that we really want. I do want, if possible, to get a 4th weapon and lock another weapon for when we level up again. So I think what I'm going to do is lock the penguin, buy the beanie, and then roll. And I'm looking for another quarterstaff. Unfortunately, I missed twice, so I want to keep re-rolling for 5 materials here. I think I probably just want to buy the scar. We'll lock the lemonade, and then I'll roll, lock a quarterstaff. A lumberjack shirt is also good. So we're behind on weapons already, which is definitely something you want to avoid when playing this character. But the shops just didn't line up to get us more weapons, so we'll just have to catch up. Break that tree there and pick up as many extra materials as possible. We don't do a lot of damage yet, so trying to kill this lamprey is a little tough, but we managed it. Should be able to get this tree. think we can take out the Curse Alien, because I can arrange it so that I can attack the other enemies through it. So we got one Curse Alien kill, that's pretty good. And on wave 4, 130, we're a little behind on income, but not by as much as you might expect on this character. Take the cute monkey here, we'll grab a weapon slot, and I'm going to buy out this entire shop. Roll, pick up another quarterstaff, that's great. The little frog is definitely worth buying. I could reroll to try to lock another weapon. Very important to lock more weapons on this character so that you always have another weapon ready when you get a new slot open. But on this wave, I think I'm just going to buy the Gentle Alien, because that gives us a lot of extra economy, which, again, we need as much as we can get. One advantage of playing with Quarterstaff is that, although it doesn't do much damage, it does provide a lot of defensive stats, because it has both primitive and medieval weapon tags. And this character's main struggle is usually trying to build up enough defensive stats to survive, especially when you're a kind of slow attacking melee build that does low damage, like this one. So having a weapon that provides some of those can be very helpful. Taking a few hits here and there, but I'm okay with that. Definitely happy to pick up the little frog, and then we'll roll, grab a quarterstaff, and roll. Acid, I could take, I think because we've got dodge, we only have 3% dodge currently, because I've reduced my dodge by buying, what did I buy? The little frog. So I could buy the acid and just not worry about dodge. Armor, of course, is the more important defensive stat. I think acid is really expensive, so I'm going to pass on it. Celery tea is kind of interesting. We could get a lot more XP gain on this character. I think I am going to buy it. It's going to make next wave pretty terrible, but the extra XP gain also increases our damage stats, and that's very important when you're playing the quarterstaff. So I think I'm pretty happy to pick up the celery tea this wave. Wave 6 typically is not incredibly dangerous, so we should be okay. We're a melee build, so I don't have to worry about the pufferfish that much, which is normally the big threat on this wave anyways. So, and any extra levels we get are so good because we're a quarterstaff build, so not only do they get us more weapons, very important, they also increase the damage of each of our weapons, which is obviously critical as well. Trying to run over there. I didn't mind taking some hits because we had okay survivability, and I wanted to kill the tree. Take the 2 level ups, which is great. We'll grab quarterstaff, duct tape. I think I will buy. We have 32 HP and more armor is very important. I'm also going to buy the cake as well. I'll take the alien tongue, I think, because pickup radius is not bad. We're a melee build. Have it with +1 consumable heal, so that will help us heal. Take the coupon. Coffee is excellent for us. Very happy with that. And here, I have an interesting choice, actually. I could buy the level 2 or level 1 quarterstaff. I think I'm just going to buy the level 2, and we'll lock the level 1, just to be as strong as possible next wave. Notice that the damage scaling on both melee damage and XP gain, and character level, goes up as you level quarterstaff. So we want to boost our melee damage at least back to positive, so that we're not losing more damage from having negative melee damage as we level our staffs. Now, a baby with a quarterstaff, of course, is a dangerous sounding prospect. I myself was, I think, 14 when I started learning quarterstaff, so not quite a baby, but definitely not an adult. But it does bring up the question of how the baby is holding all of these quarterstaffs. Don't think we have the damage on a healer wave to easily kill the loot alien, especially with Cursed Walrus chasing us down to try to play us their newest album. So we were just trying to run away there. Here, we will definitely take another staff. We'll take a scar. I'm going to pass on Baby Gecko and Scared Sausage. Cursed Bag is obviously a lot of extra money, so very happy with that. We'll take a Lost Duck as well. Luck is typically worse on the baby because one of the main effects of luck is improving the quality of your level ups. So as you level, you get better level up stat options, the higher your luck is. But the baby doesn't get those level up stat options, so luck is a little bit wasted on this character, but a lot of our healing right now is from consumable healing, so having higher luck helps with that a lot. Here, I'm going to go ahead and combine by a level 3 Quarterstaff and lock the level 1 Quarterstaff. Really nice to go into a wave with a full weapon set on the baby and another one locked. We're doing between 22 and, or I guess between 17 and 29 damage, depending on the level of our weapon. So, I'm feeling like we're in okay shape in terms of our damage output, just because we've found enough XP gain that we've been able to get some free damage. The nice thing about Quarterstaff is you scale the base damage of the weapon for free, since it just increases as you level up. More difficult for the baby, but we have a fair bit of bonus XP gain thanks to increasing our XP gain both through buying a lot of items that do so, and of course, because the weapon gives us extra XP gain. A lot of tree kills, and we got 2 crates. Now, crates are a little bit worse for the baby than they are for other characters, because your items are cheaper, so you just get less material value out of them. I'll take the wheelbarrow here. I do need to boost my armor and regen especially, but I'm still pretty happy with where we're at, I would say. Buy a Quarterstaff here, and then reroll. Interesting option. So I have no healing right now of any kind. Having lifesteal on the baby is better than it is on other melee builds, just because you have so many weapons. So even with a slow attacking, kind of short-ranged melee weapon, normally not what you want to lifesteal with, the baby can still benefit from that because we just have a lot of weapons, so we can constantly be attacking. So I think I'm obviously gonna take the ritual no matter what here, but I think I'm gonna buy the whetstone as well, because we're really struggling to maintain our HP. Baby squid is maybe the best find for that. Losing 3 attack speed is pretty bad, but we get to buy a lot of XP gain. We're at 134 XP gain already, so we're leveling as fast as a normal character currently. And this warrior helmet is, again, maybe the best item we could find. I'll need to pick up some more movement speed, but those defensive stats are at an absolute premium for this character, so finding such an efficient way to boost them, extremely helpful. So between the baby squid and the warrior helmet, I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at right now. Drinking some water. And yeah, my regen definitely needs some work. Although the lifesteal is helping. And our luck is not high enough to make consumable healing totally reliable. It's definitely a nice bonus to our healing output, or input, I guess. But it's certainly not like the main strategy. As you can see, I'm totally okay tanking hits just to maximize the number of enemies that we kill, though, because I can control my HP by just moving away from enemies, and it's so important that I continuously increase the power of the character by getting extra money, and extra levels also give us regen and everything as well. I'll take the alien magic here, that's a phenomenal find, and then we get 2 more weapon slots. Warrior helmet we're taking. Do I want the gambling token? So we have 3% dodge. Dodge is a definite way that we could boost our survivability. I think I will buy the gambling token. Nice to find 2 more weapons here, that's great. And then another one. Do I want the Quarterstaff or the fin? I can't buy both of them, right? So I guess I'll take the weapon, because it gives me 9 XP gain, pretty relevant. The move speed and lifesteal is going to be really important, but I don't really need it for next wave in particular. Here, I think I'm going to take the goat skull. So I want this entire shop. I could buy the dangerous bunny to get a free reroll. I could take the goat skull just to avoid the negative damage scaling from our negative melee damage, and that's pretty helpful. Also, +1 damage on all our weapons, even with only the 50% scaling from the quarterstaffs adds up because we have a lot of weapons. I could also upgrade our staff, but I think I'm just going to lock this for next wave, and then we'll buy the goat skull over the dangerous bunny. No, I'll just go with the economy choice. We'll still lock the goat skull and take a free reroll of 1 weapon slot there, but... So the dangerous bunny didn't get any value. But I just don't think we actually need the melee damage for this next wave. So, might as well get, like, 4 materials worth of free value there. I will say that we got a little fortunate getting the early fertilizer on this character. That definitely made us a lot stronger than we would be otherwise, but mostly we've just been buying just normal stuff for a quarterstaff build, making sure to lock weapons every shop so that we're constantly gaining new weapons, and prioritizing defensive stats, because our weapon scales itself for free. And that strategy has been proving pretty effective so far. When it shows up for free in a box like this, I guess I'll take the scared sausage. It's not something that I'm that excited about, especially with negative elemental damage, but it's kind of like adding 1 damage to all our weapons, so it can be worth grabbing. Here, we will buy all the items we had locked. I'll take the landmines just for the free reroll here, and then I'm going to take the bat as well. Lifesteal is something that we're doing, so I do want to boost that, and your bar for taking items should be significantly lower when you're playing the baby, because your items are so much cheaper. We also have double coupon, so we can just buy stuff even if it's a little bit marginal. Take the black belt, fertilizer, acid. We do have minus 16 luck, which is horrible. Acid at this point with 11% dodge. I don't really need much more HP, and we'll get more for free, so I think I'm going to pass on that. The campfire, I want as much regen as I can get, so I will take the regen. Range is actually somewhat interesting on the baby, so I'm thinking about the Gummy Berserker and glasses here, because they're much cheaper than for a normal character, and range is a little better for this character than for others, because your weapons are just spread out further, so increasing their range can help them attack, even if they're on the wrong side of your character, because as you'll see when we're in the wave, our weapons are in a great big circle, so having range can keep them hitting things even if they're on the opposite side of you. I still think it's not worth buying it, but it is worth considering. Take the power generator here. It's currently damage neutral, but we'll definitely want to buy some more movement speed, so we can pick that up. Also, range is in particular kind of useless this wave because it's a horde wave. There will always be enemies for us to hit. So, we're not actually getting any more attacks out of increasing our range going into the horde wave. More important for this character when you're fighting an elite, if you want to try to kill the elite, but we're probably just on the survive the elite plan. Gonna pick up some consumable heal from that tree, make sure that I am staying, just not getting too surrounded by a bunch of enemies. Since this is a healer wave on wave 11, the goblin sharks are pretty dangerous because it's hard for me to clear them out, so there's always going to be a lot of them on the field. Not going to be able to kill that loot alien, I don't think, so I'm just going to go for the tree kill and make sure I'm picking up some materials there. So not an amazing horde wave for us. We only made 400, but not terrible either. Okay, I will lose 2 melee damage in order to fix my luck here. The wheelbarrow at this point is a little less useful because losing armor is still pretty dangerous. We only have 5, but I think we can get away with 1 more wheelbarrow. After this, I'm going to kind of stop buying any economy items, probably. Buy the penguin and the quarterstaff there, and then we'll roll. Definitely boosting my move speed and percent damage. Roll again. Jerky is an amazing find. Obviously, our luck is low enough that we're not getting a ton of consumable healing, but it's still very powerful, so we'll take that. Quarterstaff. Saltwater will fix our melee damage again, and also give me some move speed and attack speed, which I very much want. But the jerky really helps cement this run in our favor, or make it a lot smoother. It works with our double penguin very well, because we can pick up consumables at full health and then still get healing value out of them. It also just gives us a ton of extra healing, even with relatively low luck, and that's the stat that we need the most. Gonna take out that blobfish because I'm not too worried about... I don't feel like I'm in any danger from it, and increasing our curse will potentially get us some powerful items, so I will kill curse aliens now. I have had to give up a couple loot alien kills. One or two of them I might have been able to get, because our damage has started to really scale at this point. One thing about the Quarterstaff is it can be hard to have a sense of how much damage you actually do, because it changes every wave just naturally as you level up. Take the Scar here, take 2 more weapon slots, we'll take the Quarterstaff and Saltwater. Losing 5% damage is bad. Luck is also a healing stat for us, though. I think the metal detector is worth it. And then, nice, we got to buy all of these items, which is perfect. We'll take a reroll here. We'll lock a propeller hat. I'll roll one more time, and nothing there that I particularly want. So I'm pretty much just looking for regeneration this next wave. Just any way to heal through the elite. Attack speed would also be really nice. If I got like 2 good attack speed items or something like a silver bullet, I might be able to kill the elite, but I think the safer bet is just going to be to roll for regeneration and armor and just try to stay alive. You can see we're taking pretty heavy hits when we do take damage, so we'll probably take about 20 damage a shot from an elite, which is pretty dangerous to try to fight against, given that our DPS against it will not be very high. Trying to, again, pick up as many materials as I can. Take the weapon slot here. Tardigrade is not going to be very good defensive stats. We are just taking more hits than the Tardigrade can effectively mitigate. And pass on Piggy Bank as well, because we're past that point. Do I want to just upgrade one of my Quarterstaffs to level 2? Probably. This is a weapon that really wants to be upgraded. Riposte is not decent, not very good damage with only 11 dodge. Very happy to grab a lure here, and we'll take the silver bullet. I will test my damage against the elite. I may or may not end up trying to kill it. We'll definitely want the banner. I can buy Quarterstaff, which I think I'm gonna lock just to make sure I have another weapon, and then I'll buy the tree and propeller hat. Again, luck is also a healing stat for us, so making sure that I have that this wave can help keep us alive. Alright, so we'll try our damage against this elite. This elite is usually safer to fight than to run away from, just because its attacks are very predictable if you're close to it. So I think I probably will end up attempting to kill it, even though our damage output is pretty low. I'm gonna run off here. Whoops, took a lot of hits there, so I need to be pretty careful because I'm walking into a lot of elite attacks. Alright, so I kind of messed up my positioning there. So we're just going to stay in the corner and try to stay alive. I'll try to kill that loot alien if I can as well. Unfortunately, it got buffed. But because I took all of that extra damage early in the fight, it just became very unsafe to stay in the center trying to fight the elite. Yeah, both loot aliens got buffed. Kind of brutal, so we're not going to get any value out of the lure here. I was hoping maybe I could grab it at the end, but it didn't work out. 5% more damage off the pearl is great. We'll take a weapon slot here. I will buy another weapon. We'll take the banner. Both range and attack speed are pretty good. Let's re-roll. Gonna combine these quarterstaffs and then take another one. We'll take Dangerous Bunny. for the free rerolls, and Fairy obviously is going to help a ton. I'll buy the Garden as well because we have a lot of consumable heal, and then we will lock this Quarterstaff. I could buy it right away, but I think just making sure that I have another one to fill out my full weapon set is going to be more important. So we're just going to save our money a little bit. If I had more armor or more dodge, I could definitely have killed the elite last wave, but the upside is low. You get one level 4 item, and the downside is very risky. I am kind of annoyed that I spent a bunch of time trying to fight the elite and then put myself in at such low health that I wasn't able to kill either of the loot aliens last wave, which I was definitely hoping to get value from. Now, the lure is still good just for the regen. 50 materials or whatever we spent on it for 2 regen is totally reasonable. Lure used to give 3 regen, and then it was even more broken, but a lot of characters would buy lure if it didn't add loot aliens to the field at all. Because 2 regeneration, when you're a regeneration build, you want as much regeneration as possible. So adding 2 regeneration can matter a ton. I'll take the Bloody Hand. We have 20 regen. We have a Fairy locked in the shop, so we're going to end up with a lot of regeneration to offset the Bloody Hand damage over time. And this is a huge boost to our damage output, and also going up to 22 lifesteal will boost our survivability as well. Now, we will lose 3 regen for taking the Lantern here, because we have Fairy locked in the shop, but it's still definitely worth it. We'll take our weapon slots as well. Fairy is going to be plus 14 regeneration. Grab a weapon here. I'll take the Schmoop as well. Obviously want to boost my max HP and regen. Now, we can't take Triangle of Power because I took the Bloody Hand, so those 2 are mostly incompatible. Take the tree. Wolf Helmet. The elemental damage is, I guess, relevant for our Scared Sausage, but that's not an important component of what we're doing. 20 luck would be nice, but at the cost of 3 regen and 170 materials, I just don't think we want it. Spicy Sauce, yeah, 80 for 3 health I think is fine. Our max HP is a little low. I'll reroll here. Our consumable heal's at plus 4, so I'm going to take the Alien Worm as well. Just boosting my max HP and plus 3 regen is just worth so much. The knockback on the Lantern is bad for us, mostly because we rely on hitting enemies with a lot of attacks in order to kill them, so if we push them away, we're not going to be able to focus specific enemies down. If we find Coil or something, then it's pretty good, though. 15 knockback will end up being a lot of damage. And the nice thing about the Lantern is that it also gives 50 range, which, as I said, is relevant to this character. You can see that because I boosted my range, we are not having to get anywhere near as close to enemies. And when I want to kill a specific enemy, I can just move on top of them, and then our weapons from both sides of the character will focus the same opponent, which is very helpful. Gonna recycle that. We'll take our weapon slot. We're actually getting very close to getting stats from weapons here. Take a Beanie, and we'll take an Alien Eyes. This can do a little bit more damage to elites, which we do need. We're kind of struggling to kill elites still. Take another Quarterstaff and a Sunken Bell. Do I want this? Yeah, it's probably fine. It's just a decent panic button. And then once you have 1 pearl, you usually want more. Also, 120 for 5% damage. Not great, but not horrible. But it'll make any future luck that we have pretty good. And plant we're buying, even though it costs me 2 damage from the Bloody Hand, and lifesteal is part of our plan, 4 regen is just so much. It's 4 because of the Fairy. And you can see that just, like, letting the damage take care of itself by buying a lot of XP gain has been pretty solid strategy for this character. We have a lot of weapons, so that's kind of like having tons of attack speed. and we're gaining a decent number of levels, so the base damage of our weapons is improving a lot as well. So that seems like the play when you're trying to play this combination. Got a loot alien kill in there too. Take the garden. Yeah, I'll take the black flag. It's a little late for it to be really good, but it'll still be pretty nice, even going into an elite wave, I think. You could probably avoid taking black flag here just to make sure you could kill this elite, but I feel like we're strong enough to get away with it, and it's a fun item. We'll take another quarterstaff and a ritual here for a bunch of % damage, and so now we have 24 weapons, so maximum of 24 weapon slots. Any future levels we get are going to give us stats instead of additional weapon slots, so we'll actually start getting level up stats because we've bought enough XP gain. And we can start upgrading our weapons, which is pretty nice as well. So I'm going to go ahead and combine, buy a quarterstaff, buy a broken mouth, and then go to wave 18. Getting rid of the level 1 weapons is the most important thing for improving our weapon quality. We could try to get to level 4 weapons, but just making sure that we don't have all the level 1s is the big thing here. I took a lot of hits there. This elite is hard to fight as a melee character without taking damage, so I just backed off to heal back up because our healing is very good now. And we got the elite kill. Not the, like, smoothest fight in the world, but we were never in particular danger there. Definitely going to want a little more damage before I face the bosses. In particular, extra attack speed would be really good, because we... And more armor as well. Because we could still die at this point. I'm going to recycle the lucky coin. We have no crit chance, so it doesn't do anything. Although, I will, I think, still take the night goggles. The range is still okay. 15% crit chance isn't that important. But... no, it also costs 3 regen. So it costs me 3 regen, 3 HP, which I don't really care about, and 1 armor, which I care about a lot, for 15 crit chance. And Quarterstaff only crits for 1.5x damage, but we make a lot of attacks, so we do get a fair amount of DPS from this. I think I'll take the night goggles, but it's close. Here, I'm going to take 6% dodge, and then I'm just going to roll for armor here. I could really use 20 attack speed as well, but this character just so desperately needs armor. We're just going to roll and get to 7 armor, and that will make us so much harder to kill. Continue to get rid of our level 1 quarterstaffs, and we did. The black belt will cost me luck in exchange for melee damage, and the XP gain is no longer super relevant this late in the game, so we're going to pass on that. Alright, we'll take a coil. That's a lot of extra % damage, because we have the knockback from the lantern. Do I want this level 1 quarterstaff so I can combine to a level 3? I guess it's probably still worth it. I'll roll, and then we will immediately upgrade it. A helmet, an incredible find. This is the type of item we've been looking for all game. We'll take a head injury as well. Celery tea we still don't need. Blood leech I definitely want. Fried rice is pretty good as well. So I guess what we're going to do here is I'll lock the quarterstaff. I can only buy 1 item. No, I can buy incendiary turret and quarterstaff, so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to lock these other 2. Fried rice will work very well with our scared sausage and the incendiary turret. I wouldn't buy the turret if fried rice wasn't also in this shop, but since it is, we can get a lot of regen out of having the turret on the field. And basically, we're just trying to get tanky enough to make it unlikely that we die to the bosses. Getting a free item from that loot alien, as well as some extra bag money will help with that. In fact, we're going to get 3 crates this wave, which is really nice. Maybe even more. Yeah, 4 crates. And a bunch of damage, or a bunch of money from the black flag. I don't think the black flag will have paid for itself in terms of the amount of money that we got from its actual ability, but just having more enemies on the field got us a lot more income and XP gain and everything. I'll take the dynamite. We have no explosion damage, but the regen is good. Butterfly, of course, is excellent here. Baby squid, if I level up during the next wave, will be worth 1 regen, but and we probably will. But 1 regen for -3 attack speed and 30 materials is not great. Recycle the statue here. Here I'm just going to take 10 attack speed. The 1 armor is also pretty tempting, but attack speed is phenomenal for trying to kill the bosses. I'll take the boxing glove. We get melee damage and percent damage off of that. Improved tools, great. And ugly tooth, we do lose 3% damage, but I think this is going to be pretty good. The thing that I'm worried about is just getting popped by the bosses, and ugly tooth makes that much less likely by keeping them far away. Do some rerolls here. I have a level 1 quarterstaff. A medical turret is another way that we can just improve our healing, so we'll spend on that. Okay, great. This is exactly the type of shop we're looking for. 2 more pieces of armor, and good armor at that, is really nice. And then we'll take the claw tree. A little more crit chance, a little more damage, and 1 point of regen. So we're up to 56 regen, 27 lifesteal, and very good damage output. Let's see if we can kill the bosses. Immediately I walk into 1,000,000 attacks, but have a bunch of dodge, so the dodge all goes off. That's very funny. Just focusing down the snake boss here. Normally you want to fight the whale boss first, because its attacks are harder to dodge, but the snake boss was just the one that we were able to get to more easily. That 25 damage hit was from me just literally walking into the boss. I was not in any danger from that attack, and I just, like, tapped left while right next to it, and just stepped directly on it. For no reason at all. But there we go. We've managed to defeat Baby with Quarterstaff. I think that this run, basically the important thing about this run is identifying that you don't need to buy any damage, because you just need to buy XP gain, and the damage will happen by itself. Obviously, finding that XP gain is not guaranteed, but the Baby is tagged with XP gain, so you're more likely to find XP items in the shop. And then just the normal stuff on this character, highly prioritizing defensive stats because you won't get them for free from your level ups, making sure that your early game economy is as solid as possible because again, you're down a lot of economy because you don't have the free stats from leveling up, and locking weapons every shop to make sure that you're constantly filling out all your weapon sets so that you can take advantage of the main advantage that this character has. Always a tricky character, but I think this should be a pretty consistently winnable run. Taking a look at our items, 874 materials saved from these early coupons, so phenomenal there, of course. 5 scars is excellent. 165 healing from cute monkeys, great as well. 75 XP gain from the celery tea, also awesome because we got that so early. Cursed ritual early was also great. 17 regen from baby squid, just overperforms every single time. And the dangerous bunnies were excellent as well. Only 2k damage from the scared sausage, but this only cost us 10 materials, so it wasn't a big deal. What else? This one lure, a little unfortunate, and the fact that I wasn't able to kill that boss felt a little bad, but no big deal. Fairy was amazing. 13k damage from the alien eyes, which we got pretty late. 223 materials from Black Flag, so it didn't quite pay off because we spent 110 on it or so, and it didn't quite double that. Some of these materials were in the last wave where they don't count. Coil was great, incendiary turret with the fried rice was great, and the ugly tooth was a nice safety pickup in the last wave. Alright, my friends, hope that you've enjoyed this run. Definitely I recommend this. This is a little challenging, but navigable, so very fun run. I feel like this is at a good point for if you're a more advanced player looking for more interesting runs. This one is at a really nice difficulty point. So give it a shot yourself and let me know what you think. As always, of course, if you've enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a comment and hit like. Helps me out with the algorithm, so I appreciate you taking the time to do that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, friends. I'll catch you next time.